The user tile is where you can assign licenses and roles, import and export user information, manage groups, and find insights into who is using Lucidchart in your enterprise account. Let's start by looking at the Products and Users area on the top left. This is where you can filter users by product, either Lucidchart or LucidPress, and then by the type of license each user has. You'll see we have several different types of users. Licensed users are those who can create, edit, and share content in Lucidchart. We also have view-only users. View-only users don't have a license. They can see any content that's been shared with them, but they can't create or edit any content. You can have as many view-only users as you'd like. They will not affect your Lucidchart licenses. There's actually a lot of value in your view-only users, and we found that a lot of successful companies using Lucidchart have a high number of view-only users. Let's take just a moment to explore why that is. While it may not make sense for everyone in your company to have a license to create Lucidchart documents, by giving everyone view-only access, you're allowing everyone in your organization to use Lucidchart as a central hub for up-to-date communication. For example, maybe your HR team uses Lucidchart to create an org chart that you want everyone else in the company to use as a reference. HR is responsible for keeping the chart current, and everyone else in the organization, with their view-only Lucidchart access, is able to easily get the most current and accurate version of the org chart whenever and wherever they need it. As the document gets updated, everyone can see new changes within seconds of the update. In addition to licensed and view-only users, we also have pending invitations as an option here. These are people who've been invited to your organization's Lucidchart account, but haven't accepted the invitation to join yet. Requested Lucidchart are, as you might guess, view-only users who have requested a full Lucidchart license. Beneath Products and Users is Teams and Groups. The Teams and Groups feature makes it easy for users to share and access documents in Lucidchart. As an admin, you can manage those teams and groups from this panel on the left. Let's look at how to best organize teams and groups. At the top of the folder tree is your Team folder. All groups and subgroups will nest beneath this team. The pencil icon next to it allows you to rename the team or add a group beneath it. We recommend making your team folder company-wide. You can see that ours is named after our demo company, ABC Corp, and that we built out other groups beneath it based on departments or locations. The reason we recommend this strategy is so that you don't run into compression issues if, say, you make the parent folder the IT team, then discover that marketing and sales want their own Lucidchart groups, and you don't want them rolling up into IT. As you create teams and groups, users can choose to share documents within those groups. For example, let's click on Stanley Hudson. From the information in Stanley's profile on the right, we can see that he's in the sales group. If we want to add him to another group, maybe the management group, we can do that by clicking the Edit button on the right. Note that users can belong to as many groups as you'd like. Once we do that, this means that any diagrams or custom shapes that we've shared in the management group will now automatically be shared with Stanley. Conversely, if at some point Stanley moves to another position in the company, we can remove him from the sales or management groups and remove his access to those documents. This feature keeps things secure and super efficient. One more quick tip while we're here. You can add subgroups by clicking the pencil icon next to any group and nesting more groups beneath it. While we're here, I want to point out one more helpful feature. Many admins want to audit their Lucidchart users, or audit users with specific permissions, and then they want to share that information with others. So let's look at how to do that now. For this example, I want to audit everyone in the organization who's using Lucidchart. On the left, I'll click on All Users. Then I'll select our main team at the top of the folder tree to see all of the groups. Now I'll click the Action button at the top of the page and select Export CSV. With the CSV, I can easily send this information to others who aren't Lucidchart admins. This feature is also helpful if you want to get in touch with your Lucidchart users. You can export a CSV, then copy all the email addresses into an email and get in touch, ask people about their experience, anything you might want to know. Okay, let's take a closer look at our users now. We can see usernames, emails, roles, and status here. We can also filter our list by any of those criteria. When I click on a name, I can see the details of the account appear on the right. Here, I can edit someone's username or email if needed. I can also add or remove licenses. Click the checkbox, hit Confirm, and now a license has been allocated. We can do the same thing for removing a license, though we'll take a closer look at that a little bit later. Some of our account owners are managing teams with a lot of Lucidchart users, so it's helpful to add other team admins to help manage licenses and other administrative tasks. Specifically, we have two types of admins. Team admin status allows someone to see all the tiles in the admin panel except for billing and do things like add integrations to your account, manage licenses, or delete users. In contrast, the billing admin is able to make purchasing decisions, track invoices, and update billing information. I'm going to click on Erin and edit her role to make her a team admin. Now she can see and access all the tiles in our admin view except the billing tile. Of course, if we wanted her to have that access, we could check the box and give her that as well. You can see that her profile has been updated to reflect her new role as team admin. One thing worth noting while we're here is that Erin doesn't have a Lucidchart license. If you have an admin who doesn't need to be working in Lucidchart, maybe they're just managing accounts and licenses for your organization, you do not need to grant them a license in order for them to act as an admin. That way you can save your licenses only for people who are actually using the product. Let's add a new user now. If you want to add a user, click the plus user button at the top right corner of the page. You have options for adding by email, manually, by domain, or by CSV, and we'll quickly look through each of these. To add users by email, we'll enter or paste the user's email address here. We can also add this user to a group. You can do this for multiple users at one time. Just be sure they all belong to the same group if you're wanting to put them into a group while you're here. We'll review this license allocation information in our review of the licensing tile on the admin page, so look for that information there. Adding manually lets you add more personalized information to the user. You can click Add Manually and add the user's first name, last name, email, group, and even set a password for them. If you're integrated with Google, you'll be able to add people to Lucidchart straight from your Google instance using the Add by Domain feature. This will pull everyone with your domain and then show you if each person currently has a Lucidchart account under the Lucid User column. If it says yes, that person currently has a Lucidchart account and you can invite them to join your instance. If it says pending, you've previously sent them an invitation to join your account. No means they don't currently have a Lucidchart account and you can add them directly into your account. If you want to upload bigger groups of users, you can upload a CSV. Let's do that now. I'm going to locate my CSV, and as you can see, what's great about this file is that in addition to adding names and emails, I can automatically add information about users' groups. Just remember, when you're done, to click Add to Team. The last thing we'll review in the user tile is how to delete licenses or users. Let's imagine Andy has left the company. We'll right-click on Andy, then click Delete. This pop-up shows me how many documents Andy has created and how much storage he's using. The most important thing to remember here is that deleting the user will also delete all of the user's documents. To avoid losing the documents, you can assign them to a new user, maybe someone else on that person's team, or to a Lucidchart account owned by an admin. Be aware that when you transfer the documents, the folder structure will disappear. Instead, everything will be transferred into one folder with the name of the user that you deleted. Sharing permissions should remain for those documents, but the owner of the document will switch to the person you transferred the docs to. If you have any more questions about the user tile in the admin panel, check out our Help Center article for more step-by-step instructions, or get in touch with your customer success manager.